Welcome to Westgate Irregulars. I'm Aaron M. Evans. I'm the author of the Brimstone Angel Saga, the forthcoming Empire of Exiles. I'm the host of Champions of Lore and writing about dragons and shit. And tonight, I'm your DM.
Woot.
Woo. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor. For a second, I forgot what I talk about. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons & Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, which includes Frida, Havlar, and Mehen from the Brimstone Angel Saga. The game is available on Steam and Epic, Xbox One, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. If you are here from Idle Champions, welcome, welcome. You will notice there is a code at the bottom of the screen, which you can use to get an Electrum Chest. I always forget to put that in the tweet to remind people, but fortunately you made it here and we're very glad to have you. So grab that code, pop it in, get yourself some cool stuff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you've been hearing this spiel and you're like, okay, now I'm curious, you can find out more at idlechampions.com.
Hey, I'm Rhiannon Held. I write urban fantasy as Rhiannon Held and space opera as RZ Held. And I have two other great sponsors to tell you about. Both make dice, and awesome in very different ways. In a realm where most warriors use plastic light weapons, Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you're skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. Norse Foundry offers other cool gaming accessories as well, and you can find their store and more about them at norsefoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials for their dice. They're always designing and testing multiple types of recycled materials for your enjoyment, raising dice from the ashes and onwards to epic adventures. You can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com.
Hello, I'm Yang Yang Wang, and I'll be playing Stong Makguk, the barrel-chested, barrel-wearing, very hairy heir to the Murder Bear tribe.
I'm Stephen Merlino. I play Sturge. Tonight we have a giveaway from our best friend at Phoenix Dice. It is your choice of a set of dice and a dice tray based on whatever they've got in stock. So check out the layout there with the code that you can type into chat, and you can get a chance to win at the end of the game today.
I am Eric Scott to be often the DM of this game, but not tonight. And I also write stuff, and I am very tall, and I am doing music. And I play Sebastian, who is an artificer of Vrimyani from Rashemen. And he is Cecilia's old friend, and he has been on kind of a journey. We'll see where that journey takes him now.
Okay, so where we last left off, you had reached the Arach Forest, which is the stronghold of the Durthans, the rebel witches of Rashemen. You have been warned about these people a lot, as Yang Yang pointed out in the Hangout. They're not what they're kind of dangerous from the sounds of things. You know that particularly when you were pulled up in front of the witches in Running Rocks, they accused you of working with the Durthans and said that they had captured your spy. So that was a whole thing. But you know that at some point Cecilia came here, and you know that Cecilia and Artemisia's mother was a Durthan because you were told that by Kayla's father a while back. So you went into the forest, you found some Nar demon binders, they bound some demons, you unbound some demons with your weapons, and you rescued a Durthan called Sister Yolanta, who's Sturge almost killed. But I think you guys are vibing now. I think you guys might be getting along.
It was all a misunderstanding.
Well, now we stopped trying to take her stuff.
All right, so they're leading you back through this dark forest, which you'll recall is very spooky. I got my spooky forest background working, guys. So it's like this. It is almost dawn. You start to the light is growing stronger, filtering through these kind of spooky trees. You've been up like all night. They lead you through the forest, masked witches, and some of them have these creatures beside them. They're little animals that glow blue. They look a lot like the spirit animals that you encountered, but they're normal size. They're smaller. And you're kind of following them through the forest to this huge ruined keep. This reminds you a lot of the one you saw on the other side of the lake, but it's bigger, it's more intact. And if you look at it closely, it does seem maybe that one seemed to be all fused together with magic fundamentally. It had taken a long time to break down. This one doesn't seem like it's as old. The rubble is cleared here, but there are still pieces, standing walls. At one point, the tower kind of comes up and there's still multiple floors there, albeit with one wall kind of missing due to obviously some percussive magic that has blown it open. People have set up lean-tos using wood from the forest and fabric. And so you're looking here at this camp, it's a bunch of small homes. Mostly, there's fires all around. People are starting to kind of stir them up, get things going. It's time for breakfast. The smells of definitely some cooking meat come through to you. Mostly what you see are women, witches with their masks hanging on at their hip. But there are men here too, and actually there are children kind of waking up, rubbing their eyes. You kind of might have expected coming in here to find a war camp, and that's not what this is. Except at the same time, when you walk into that circle, when you follow Halisa into the circle of this clearing, they all look at you, and you feel like you're being sized up. Like any one of these people might decide to fight you.
Good times.
Halisa is still wearing her mask. She looks around once, and she makes a beeline for a small structure that is built of wood and the partial wall of kind of an outbuilding of this ruined keep. She goes to the fire, sits down, starts kind of adding material to it to get it going again. And the strange glowing fox that has been tracking her steps all this way sort of peels off to go sit at the edge of the forest and watch like it's standing guard.
So who should we speak to? Who is leader here?
Who are you asking? Did you follow Halisa to the fire, or are you like gonna grab Iolanta before she sits? Or there's also the durthan that talked to Stong, who she didn't say her name, but I will say that I'll tell you that her name is Sister Ksenia.
Halisa was the one who was captured, or was the other one?
She was not captured. She was the one who was like, what did you do? Like, why are you messing around?
That's the one that Artemis wants to talk to. So she's going to follow her.
Okay. So you follow her over to the fire. She doesn't stop you from sitting down. She's just sort of like, you can tell she's kind of watching what's going on at the same time. And you ask her, who should you talk to?
Yeah.
You tell me what you want to know, and that's a good place to start.
We wish information, and of course information is never free. So we wish to speak to someone that we could perhaps talk about some kind of trade, information for information, spells for information, all that kind of thing.
It's gonna make a big difference what kind of information you want. And Iolanta, the sort of crazy witch that you rescued, drops down next to you and says, I still think she wants to sign up you to join the sisterhood, I think. Whatever you're from is probably boring. This is way better.
Hadn't considered that before, but you never know. Where are the rest of you folks?
What do you mean the rest of us folks?
Oh, so I'm asking the party.
Oh, sorry.
So I think like as we were walking through the encampment, Stong notices that everybody is sizing us up, and like you were saying, like kind of maybe trying to pick a fight. Now, is there some way that I could like intimidate with my friendliness? Like he wants to try to look like he wants to return their gazes with just like open friendliness.
I feel like that
eagerness.
might be a persuasion more than an intimidation.
All right.
Although I'm intrigued by how it might be
It's gonna be a 4.
intimidation. A 4. You may have accidentally made a gesture that besmirches one of their mothers. Not sure.
Oh,
Sturge
I
is
think
going
they're
to
into
go
me.
go to the fire and warm his hands and just stare into the fire, or at least to appear to. He's listening very carefully to everything around him.
Sebastian? Because Artemisia, there's a little bit where it's Sebastian, she's like, okay, don't start on some anti-durthan screed.
Now, Sebastian does look really nervous, but also a little bit like unsure, because this isn't what he expected. Like, you know, these people are essentially like the nightmare witches from fairy tales that the brothers tell about around the fire. Sometimes they're real hot witches in the stories, but mostly they're just real scary. And Sebastian's like, but they seem like normal people with like kids and stuff. This is weird. So he wants to be helpful, but he's not taking the lead.
So one question, Sebastian, where's your mask?
Ruh-roh.
So
Have you been wearing it? Have you got it in your pocket?
Well, okay. So I wasn't here last time when we actually met the Durthans. So would it have made more sense for him to be wearing it, or would it have made more sense
This
for
is
him
the
to be hiding
question.
it?
Do you think that Sebastian, there's 2 questions I think here. One, you've left the Vermiani. So how do you feel about wearing the mask? Do you feel like you still are allowed, or that you still must? The other question is, you got into a fight with a bunch of Gnar and a bunch of demons.
Mm-hmm.
And so does wearing the mask make you feel like more of a badass when you're going up against Marilith and a small army of Glabrezu?
Okay.
That's the question I would ask.
So yeah, he probably took off the mask when you left Running Rocks. Like, I am no longer worthy of wearing this mask. I should put it away, never take it out again. And then when the fight ensued, he just immediately put the mask back on. He's like, this is how I fight. This is where my power comes from. And then you got to the Durthans and he's like, oh shit, I'm still wearing it. Well, too late now. So yeah,
All right.
he's wearing the mask.
Great. Then I think what also happens here is that Iolanta looks at Artemisia and she says, "What's with the Vremiani?"
Vermiani? What? Who?
Does he have a head injury?
No, he left. I said, so I'm not sure of all the ins and outs. I'm sure that he left, but question is what that does to his status as Vermiani. But I'm getting sort of the sense that that means he isn't anymore. So
Yeah, they're not supposed to leave. That's very brave of you.
Thank you.
Elisa is kind of, she's like, they're gonna want to check that one. You 3, you're not from the Wicklaren. They might be sneaky, but they're not gonna send a half-orc and a half-elf, a half-Lathari type, and whatever you are, sir. The Vremiani, maybe. But I don't think they're going to send him with you guys. I think you kidnapped him.
he wanted to come.
Did not kidnap me. I am here of my own accord.
And why are you here? That's the part nobody seems to want to say. You want information?
About somebody.
Okay.
Do you know the name Cecilia Devaskaya?
Yolanta and Elisa look at each other. And Elisa's like, that depends who's asking.
Insight check.
All right.
14.
You're pretty sure they know exactly who you're talking about.
Mhm.
It's a little harder to tell if it's a good thing or not. I'm going to... I'm gonna roll to see if Yolanta can keep her mouth shut. She cannot keep her mouth shut. She leans forward and she's like, did she send you here to kill us?
No.
Elisa's like, oh, you're 3 ladies. You can't just ask people if they're here to assassinate you. They don't tell you that.
You remind
But you
me,
know her. What's that?
You remind me a little bit of a man with a boar mask on the other side of the lake. He's also quite paranoid. I approve. Don't get me wrong, but
It's kind of necessary in this line of work.
so it seems.
What do you want to know about Cecilia Donskaya?
What she did here. There was a
The-
certain spell we think
Why?
she performed.
That's very interesting. Why do you think? Why? Yolanta leans forward. He goes, "You know Cecilia?
Very
Is that
well.
why? Did she send you?
No.
So she doesn't know you're here.
We're
I wouldn't
worried.
say that.
That's very interesting. You know who you should talk to?
Mm.
Elisa is like, this is just falling apart. Well, I'll tell you. Sorry, I have to remember what she knows. Yeah, we know her. She's kind of a little bit of a loner. She doesn't want to hang out and things like that. But, you know, she's very fun in a battle because she gets very angry. And then she just goes nuts. She's not the most powerful witch out there, but she fights like a berserker. And that's I like that. I like that a lot when people throw their all into the fight. This is not everybody can do that. She like that still? Does she fight you?
So are you trying to like recruit her back again? I thought she was gonna send people to kill you.
Lisa's like, she's not coming back here. You want to know what she did here? Maybe you want to ask Sister Ophelia. She's how do you say it? Like a mentor.
That sounds like who we need to talk to.
She also thinks she's gonna want to come talk to you. So everything comes together. But here's the question, my friends. You look like you haven't slept in at least a whole day. And also, you got some demon slime on you. You want to take a nap?
Yes.
I would love a nap.
I suppose, yes.
You take a rest. I'll go find Sister Ophelia.
Is this where you live? In the ruins here?
Yeah.
This is your home.
Well, yeah. It's they don't come in here. You see, this used to be a fortress for durthans. We have pretty good power. You know, about 150 years ago. Then the witches, they decide they don't like what we're doing because they are cowards. And Yolanta jumps in, she's like, they're cowards and they're bossy ass bitches.
Yes, they are.
Elisa's like, you are making a very bad impression on everybody here. Yeah, so we were here. The Iron Lord and the Master Witches, they decided to declare war. They burned it down. They killed most of us. That's why this place is haunted. You got ghosts of Durthans 100 years old that still believe. And they're not going to leave until we refound the Empire.
There must have been many more of you then.
There used to be.
So here's a question that is Rhiannon's faulty memory.
Yeah.
Clement gave them a story about the ghosts in the other sort of tower.
Mhm.
That the ghosts were something different, right?
Those are still ghosts, but they were the ghosts from when Nar and Rashemen, the Romathari Empire, fought. They're older ghosts.
Oh, okay.
And what she's telling you is basically, I mean, those kinds of ghosts, those ghosts might also be here, but that the ghosts you will encounter more often are Durthans from the Witch War of like 100, I can't remember the exact dates, over 100 years ago.
Okay,
Not
cool.
as far back as that.
So I wasn't confused. There are two sets of ghosts.
There are two sets of ghosts. And you also, having seen that, look around, there are not charms on these in this area. They're not trying to keep those ghosts away.
Are there any ghosts nearby?
You don't see anything, except you do notice Though that little fox of Hylisa's is so it is not, that is not a fox exactly. Sebastian, you know what you're looking at here. It does look kind of like a ghost fox. And Sebastian, you know this is a Telthor. It is undead. It is basically the spirit of a being that died in defense of Rashemen. And that these are sort of like, they're nature spirits in a way, but they're smaller nature spirits. They usually defend places. Like those berserkers you guys met, there would have been an owlbear Telthor that defends their lodge, their fang. That's a thing that frequently happens.
Yeah.
But this one seems to be defending Helisa.
Oh. I'll quietly explain that to everyone. That's usually a place spirit, but perhaps it is a person spirit in this case.
He's good, Joe. He protects me.
Chippy,
come here.
He is bound to you then?
Well, yes, he's my companion. She beckons the fox over and it comes and kind of sits next to her. And as it passes, you notice it has a binding on its back leg, kind of similar to the one on the boar spirit.
Ooh.
I see.
But the difference, the fox doesn't seem to be bothered by it.
Okay. So is this a consensual binding? She's asking Helisa.
You hear a voice in your head. Helisa is my friend.
No. Well, that's good. I'm glad.
I mean, we still have the binding that came from the boar, right? One of us took it.
If you say so. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of feel like Sturge would have taken it, but who knows?
Someone else cut it.
I think Stong cut it.
Stone cut it. If you just left it on the ground, Sturge took it.
Good guess.
Yeah.
Perhaps this is a good chance to show her that binding, Sturge, and see if they know anything about what could have disturbed that boar spirit.
Sturge opens a pouch at his side and with his mage hand, because he doesn't want to touch the thing, brings it out and holds it in the air. I guess splays it on his mage hand so it's nice and visible.
Where'd you get that?
Stong, you want to tell her where you found this?
Sure. Stong's been kind of like keeping quieter because, he's a little bit intimidated by the Durthans. He remembers all the stories about how they're very like wicked, dangerous people dabbling in forbidden magics. And he expressly brought Artemisia and Sturge along because they're better at handling it, at being diplomatic in these situations, whereas Stong might be more straightforward. But he will definitely seize the opportunity to just like lay it all out there.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, like, if Stong hesitates, Artemisia will certainly step in. But
yeah, you see Stong hesitating. He's got a little something on his mind.
We saw this on one of the great spirits that was corrupted in pain and mad with it. And very different from your little fox.
On the other side of the lake.
Correct.
Is it is a boar spirit? Yeah.
What do you know about it?
This is just like a experiment gone wrong. Think it's different enchantment interacting badly. You said there was something else on it?
Yeah, it was more than this. Something was very wrong with it.
Yeah, they're not meant to mix. It is just to say the Telthor, they can't move very far. They stay to where they died, what they protect. And that could be a person that's more useful to Rashemen. And they agreed, so you just make a binding. So someone thought, hey, well, maybe I will bind the boar spirit, clearly. And sounds like something else was interacting with it. It may have just. They can go over the water sometimes. It may have gone over the water.
Sounds very conveniently that it wasn't your fault at all.
It is convenient sometimes when it's not your fault. It's also convenient to blame people just because they don't do things the way you like them to be done. And Yolanda goes, bossy as bitches.
Nice.
So Sebastian's going to attempt an insight check to determine whether the Durthans did that based on what she's saying, or the witches did that.
You're pretty sure the Durthans did that, and you think that she's not denying it, that maybe she's left it open to maybe the Wicklern did it. But she's also left open, a Durthan did this, it just got out of hand. What are you gonna do? Spirits are kind of chaotic.
Yeah. Sebastian has a very, very negative expression, but he is wearing his mask.
It would seem the Durthan are rather chaotic.
That definitely tracks. So you can take a long rest if you want.
Yes.
In the little lean-to here.
Artemisia is gonna bring out Mitzi, and like have this very earnest conversation with her about like, can you you gotta pay attention. Like you can't just like go to sleep and like chase something. You gotta stick around and like watch for us, okay? It's really important.
Okay. Do you want me to wake you up if I see something?
Yes.
Can you narrow down something? Because I don't know if you've noticed, there are a lot of things happening here.
Something dangerous that's gonna hurt us.
Got it. So people dangerous, animal dangerous, fiend dangerous, all the dangerous.
All the dangerous.
I have you. I am the best familiar.
You are. She's gonna like pet her, scratch behind ears.
Stong's gonna hurry into the tent, and he's sort of like nervously gonna peek around, left, right, and then he motions like Sturge and Artemisia to enter, and then maybe as Sebastian also approaches, he's gonna hold up a hand, and he's gonna say, "I'm sorry, Sebastian, but could I have a moment with Sturge and Artemisia?"
Of course. I will just wander over here being anxious all by myself.
Poor Sebastian.
Well, I mean, you can hang out with Mitzi for a bit. It won't take more than a minute, I think.
Oh, wonderful. Where'd
Mitzi
Mitzi go?
Can Mitzi talk to other people or just Artemisia?
I think telepathically only to Artemisia, but she could probably be speech if anybody had it. But
Okay.
so if somebody.
But for now, she just sort of
yeah.
she looks at you in that cat-like way of like slow blink of disapproval.
Hello, Kitty. Would you
She
like
walks
a pet?
away.
I will awkwardly follow the cat.
She's just playing hard to get. She really wants to be petted.
If you say so. Would you like to play with dancing lights? I can make dancing lights for cat to play with.
Oh, that might get her. It's like, ow, ow, ow. All right, so the other three of you are in the tent.
Yeah, so Stong waits for the two of them to enter the tent. He's gonna like close the flap, make sure that nobody's like next to it, and then he's gonna cast silence around the area so that sound does not travel out of the tent or into the tent. And then after he's done casting his spell, the glow dissipates from his hands, and he turns around, and there's sort of like this really peculiar look in his eyes. You can tell he's kind of nervous. There's like a little glint of perspiration on his face. And he is like wringing his hands, and he's like, Sturge, Artemisia, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but I've been keeping something from you guys.
Oh. Okay.
All right. I trust you want to reveal it now.
Is it that you're afraid of ghosts? Because that's okay. Like, I get it.
I was trying really hard to hide that. But so if you got that, that's very insightful. There's something else that I wanted to share with you guys. I was trying to wait until I understood what it really meant, but I don't know if I could wait any longer. And he's been like scratching the back of his neck, like a little absently this whole time. And he slowly gathers up like a large fistful of his thick dark mane, and he lifts it, and he turns around and he says, he points to the back of his neck, and he shows you guys like what's there. And what's there?
What you see is a mark, and I meant to draw it, but you know, there's a thin line up the middle, and then there are these sort of angular fingers coming off of it. There are 4 up this way, and 4 down this way, and then 1 up the center. It looks, if you kind of squint at it, like a scourge, like a whip with many ends, done in a kind of geometric pattern.
Can I do like an Arcana check to see if that is something Artemisia recognizes?
Sure.
That is 13.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
It looks like it was burnt into him.
Just the mark of a bondage club.
Oh, if only it were so simple.
Oh, I thought maybe you and Shiny had, matching marks and okay.
Could you imagine that guy in a bondage club? I mean, he never takes
We're
off his
all
armor,
imagining it
not even
now.
to sleep. Well,
How long has it been there?
since I got out of jail in Westgate.
Since you got out, it wasn't there before.
Well, you see, while I was there, on the day of my release, this demonic woman appeared in front of me. She said some things that marked me with her design. I believe she said that her name was Glasya.
Glasya. All right. What did she want from you?
I'm really not quite sure, to be honest.
It was a long time ago, wasn't it?
It was quite a long time ago. And, to be honest, I thought maybe she had forgotten me, and maybe, things had smoothed over. She had other people that she marked, the other business to attend.
Why do you bring this up now?
Did you notice that other woman that was walking with us? I believe her name was,
Ksenia.
Maybe.
Ksenia pulled me to the side, and she said that maybe Glasya wants to talk. And maybe she wants to talk to all of us.
Oh, whoa. All of us?
Yeah.
But you have the mark, so clearly Artemisia's she was listening, and she was a little bit surprised and sort of like, well, okay, but then now she's like backing up, like Stong's gonna grab her or something.
I won't make you go. You don't have to. But I would really appreciate it if the two of you accompanied me. There's not really much that scares me. But it was clear to me that this woman wasn't something that my strength alone could overcome.
Well, we can't leave you to face it alone. But I can't. I won't make a deal. I won't. If she asks me something, I can't be involved. I'll just be there to help you. She's fussing. She wears fingerless gloves now, and she's fussing with one of them. And when she sort of like pulls it off, she's got the ring from Lilton that's got sort of like the scar tissue around it, and very, very, very clearly that's where her thoughts are. She's like sort of rotating it and like feeling the scar tissue, like she's sort of surprised that it's still there and looking upset.
We've both been marked by our past, I see.
Yes.
Can you tell me, she didn't invite all of us, she invited you. Are you certain that we would even be admitted to her presence?
She did say, I mean, Stan's like remembering back, she did say to like bring my friends, right? Yeah, the invitation was for all of us.
Perhaps that would be best done after arrest.
Yes.
That seems very wise. Do you guys think I should tell Sebastian? Because I don't know if I really want to get him in something so deep.
I mean, maybe he should know and make his own decision. Because if she's already inviting your friends and she's seeing him as involved, he should at least have the warning.
That seems like a good idea. All right. I'll be right back. I'll go get him. So Stong drops the silent spell, goes out of the tent. What is Sebastian doing? What does he see? What does Stong see?
Kitty. Oh no, I have lost Artemisia's cat. She was playing with my dancing lights, but now she is gone.
Make a perception check.
She just ran off.
You look up in time to see Mitzi jump out of a tree onto you.
Ah!
You have a chance to dodge or catch, or just stand still and take claws to your scalp.
It's gonna be claws to the scalp, I suspect. Crunch.
All right, she crunches into you.
No, I found her.
Artemisia, you hear her say,
I'm playing, but I'm watching.
Thank you.
Sebastian.
Oh, hello, friend Stong. I am relieved. You have come out of the cone of silence. You seem troubled, my friend. What is wrong?
You've done a lot for us already. And
Well, I appreciate you recognizing that.
Yeah, I think we really appreciate. You've not only returned to a homeland that it must not have been easy to leave in the first place, bringing us like 3 odd strangers.
You are somewhat odd, yes, but I do like you.
So
is this goodbye? Is this where we part ways? You abandoned me in this witch's camp?
oh, we would never.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like this witch's camp is enough danger for you already. Which
yes.
is what makes like my next question, which is why making me debating of my next question.
Not to worry, I have winged cat to protect me.
your hair is a mess.
So, we have a bit of side business here at this camp, and it may or may not involve a very powerful devil. I don't want to involve you and give you and expose you to undue risk. I feel like that would be really unfair to you and unfair to Cecilia. But Artemisia, she convinced me that maybe the choice is yours.
She is a wise woman. She is quite a bit like Cecilia. If Cecilia were less stubborn about taking everything on herself. Yes, I wish to help you. I have come this far with you. You have helped me. I shall help you. It is not a debt I owe you. It is what I choose to do. So, please, tell me your troubles.
I appreciate that. So Stong will sort of like summarize what he told Sturge and Artemisia, and then he'll bring Sebastian into the tent. Now, Sebastian, remember, when we meet her, we should not take any deals. Like, that's the one thing I know. We shouldn't make any deals. it might sound good, but it won't be good for us. We already have way too many deals on the table already.
You sound like you speak from experience.
I mean, he points to the mark, and yeah.
Yes.
This feels a little bit like the Westgate Irregular motto is take the deal now. We'll solve it tomorrow.
That's the way it's been, yes.
Maybe we should think about that more, but here we are. All right. So you guys are going to take a long rest.
Yeah.
All right. So you're probably going to fall asleep, but even if you don't, you're just chilling, that counts. So you can give yourself a long rest. When you wake up, feel rested, come out. First of all, Artemisia, Mitzi comes in and says,
The only thing that came to bother you were some kids, but then it turned out they just wanted to pet me.
Oh.
But there's a lady outside waiting for you now.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Should I
do
stay?
Do you want to stay? Because you can, fly around if you want at this point.
Oh, okay. There's some interesting things in the trees here.
Yeah, you can go have fun. Yeah.
off in the distance, you hear a squirrel scream. All right. So when you come out of the shelter, Halisa is there waiting for you, and Yolanta still. But there was a third woman. She's older, perhaps 50, 55. She's wearing her mask. And this one, unlike Yolanta and Halisa's, which were kind of flat without decoration, this one is decorated. There are runes and flames and this fringe of kind of crow feathers around the outside. And she says, "Oh, you are awake, our guests." Halisa says, "This is Sister Ophelia. She knows Cecilia from before. You wanted to ask some questions."
We do.
My lost little lamb. I trust she's well.
Yes and no. We think that in her time here, there is a certain spell she may have learned, and the spell is causing havoc. And we would wish to counter it. And find out about anything she might have done with this spell while she was here.
Cecilia Dovskaya. I think perhaps she is bragging about things that didn't happen. She was very
calling
dedicated.
our friend a liar.
Well, it would
If
only be accurate.
If she's your friend, I think you know.
Fair.
What is it she's told you about us?
As little as possible. The Wicklaren are the ones who tell us that you put magic to bad end, use magic for bad ends, torture the nature spirits, all that kind of stuff.
This is
Send
how
dangerous spirits across the lake that accidentally broke free of control.
This sounds very like the Wicklaren. You know, I was a Wicklaren once. I was a Hathrin. My sister was a Hathrin. I know how they frame things. We must preserve what we have. We must hold Rashemen. We must forget that all of this was once ours. Not Nar, not they. So it's a lot simpler to say, people who do things different, they're very evil. Don't think about that. Stay here where we are in charge of you. But I don't like that.
I've also heard that you are much more powerful than any of the Wicklaren. You know spells that many other people in the realm don't know at all. Spells that they might consider forbidden. Spells that do things like And he like shoots a look at like Artemisia and Sturge, like, stop him now, or not.
Should
Take
magic
people's
ever
power.
be forbidden? Take people's power. It's very interesting. This is not a spell I know. Is it a spell you know?
No, but as a
Is it like
bard,
a- we've
I'm
heard of?
interested. Yeah.
And you think, is this the spell you think Cecilia learned?
Did she say much of her father? Do you know?
Well, only a little. She keeps her secrets, but we know the story. The Wicklaren have 2 dangerous prisoners. They break out. One of them suddenly appears here. And some of us have been here long enough to know the name Lazar Dovskaya. Some of us have tangled with Lazar Dovskaya. Some of us know people who have tangled with Lazar Dovskaya. She looks at Artemisia when she says that, and not like she thinks you and Lazar are fucked up, but she's like, we both know who I'm talking about.
Were you a contemporary of Skaha then?
No, she's, I was young when she came. You would want to talk to Sister Dunyasha. We are humans. We burn out faster than the elves.
I tangled once with Lazar. It was very intimate. He barely survived.
Sebastian looks over at Sturge like, what? I have not heard this story.
Stog also looks over at Sturge like,
You were there,
Spicy
you
news.
saw.
You're there, you're just mind controlled. Well, I do like hearing that.
Mm.
Listen, Cecilia, she was very mixed up. She had been trapped with the Bremiani for so long, and with that man for so long. She found us because maybe we had a different path for her, and we welcomed her with open arms. But she was not the most talented witch. That's okay. We still need people who can fire off a magic missile, cast a witch bolt now and then. She wanted to be something that she wasn't going to be. So if you tell me that Cecilia learned the spell that even I don't know, I find that very puzzling.
what about Lazar? Do you think he
Lazar
might have-
Dovskaya is not welcome here.
Oh,
Well,
why's
he's
that?
dead, so.
Oh. Well, let us hope he remains among the quiet dead.
Let's hope. Sebastian makes a little gesture like, yeah.
Why is he not welcome here?
Well,
Was he welcome anywhere? Truly.
I assume Skaha. You asked me about Skaha. Now, I'm not friends with Skaha. She's too old for me. But I do know she comes from outside. She's not a Rashemen, but she's interested in our magic. She tried to infiltrate the Wicklaren using a disguise herself kind of spell, but they catch her. And she comes to us. She's very curious. Now you might know this when you look around here. We're not as picky as the Wicklaren. You don't have to be Romathari to want to defend Rashemen. If you are willing to take up arms against our enemies, you have a place here. So we are happy to have Skaha. Skaha, she is very impulsive at this time. And so she meets this Bremiani hunting star metal, and she keeps meeting him. And she tells him things that she doesn't need to be telling anybody. She has entanglements, you see. Now, I don't know if Cecilia Dovskaya is the daughter of Skaha the Spear Witch, But I do know there's only one Doveskaya who gets locked up in Earthling Wood, and only one daughter of Doveskaya that they call his elf son. So I can make some guesses. Did the Wicklaren catch her?
At what
They
time?
were. When she left
They
us.
have been
Did she
searching
tell
for.
you?
Hmm?
Did she tell you about how she left us?
I do believe she mentioned that you betrayed her.
Well, she looks stricken. Like, that is one way to frame it. I don't think it's a very fair way. She kind of looks at Halisa and Iolanta like, can you believe this? Because we made a prisoner swap with the Thayans. They had some of ours. We gave them something they wanted. It didn't go very well. Then a fight broke out. Cecilia dove in, and she got hurt. Then she runs off. Maybe she's telling herself stories. I don't know.
Well, there are two sides to every story. I'm not here to judge that.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, there is the question of what you do for this information. They seem to recall you making an offer.
Spells, perhaps? We have many among us.
We have our own tradition. It's important to us.
Do witches use spell books?
Yes, of course.
Ah,
Sort of like subquest. Dun dun, here we go.
You could probably figure out where her house is. Well,
I don't wish to steal, but I would trade. Certainly.
Well, we need to know that we can trust you first. We have a bit of a job brewing. One of our own, Sister Yevgenia, was taken prisoner. She was working from the inside, and the Wicklaren caught her. Now she's the one trapped in the Earthling Wood. We need to get her out.
Where do they keep them in the wood?
The prison.
I don't believe we saw it when we passed through.
You were not in the Earthling Wood. You were in you were in Running Rocks, and then you went through the Ashen Wood. There's a bunch of forests in Rashemen that have names.
The Earthling Wood is it an outpost or is it a center of
It's
Wicklaren?
It's where the Wicklaren live.
So
you would have us go against the Wicklaren, whom we have just escaped.
Well, you seem to have shown you are happy to be their enemy.
And you want to make that very clear that we are their enemy.
Not if you're quick about it.
There are enemies and then there are enemies. We are not out to make any more than necessary.
Well, then I think it is best if you stay here in the camp and we discuss what we will do with you. Make yourself very comfortable, please.
I am interested in learning where they keep their prisoners. What sort of prison is it? Is it a dungeon? Is it a tower? Is it a...
Oh, I see. It is not a dungeon. It is above ground. It is a building between the trees.
They must be quite... Knowing you, they must know it must be magically warded. It must be intensely... I mean, one couldn't say turn themselves into a fly and simply fly through the bars of the... They would have some way to...
You could, but then to get out, you would have problems. But...
Do you have a plan?
Well, yes. We are working on a plan.
I am not.
But I think you know I'm not going to just tell my plan to anybody.
Well,
This is
we agree. Yeah.
My sister who is trapped.
So you will participate in this rescue?
Of course.
Yes. How many people? It's not that I'm interested in participating. I simply ask for a friend who might.
Well, like I said, we are still firming up plans, but as many as is needed. We will have to go into the Earthling Wood. We will have to evade the witches. Unless someone thinks of something better, we will need many people.
So she's that important, is she? I know she's your sister, but you have many sisters, yes?
We are all important. The Vremani may tell you that you are expendable.
But
But
you
the
will
only
risk
thing you
the
are-
lives. Go ahead.
The only thing you are expendable for is the might of Rashemen.
I suggest a distraction, something big on the other side of town, draw their attention, then a small team goes in.
I like how he thinks.
He is quite good at getting into places. Not always good at getting out of them, but we improvise. Yes?
That's the fun part.
Improvisation. Yes, improvisation. That is the byword of the durthan.
I
We
find
do what
that
we must with what we have.
we can plan about 12 seconds ahead. After that, everything's up for grabs.
Well, Artemisia wants to sort of like have a little group huddle, but
Ophelia, for the record, does seem to be done talking to. She's
Okay.
presented what she wants, and she is inclined to walk away. She sort of just stopped because Sturge had ideas. And she may be like, if you have further ideas, you may come tell them to me. We have we call it the command center on the second floor of the keep.
Thank you.
Watch out for the stairs. They're a bit rickety.
Yes. Thank you.
She strides off. She has very good posture.
Well, as are we all alone now, or are there still witches?
Lisa and the Yolanta are still standing there. Yolanta is like, you're gonna do it. Yeah. Hi, Lisa. Make me an insight check.
I feel like we don't have a lot of choice about
Anybody who feels like they would.
I got a
is-
23.
All right.
Oh, I got a 20.
That is kind of
24.
Oh, okay. Hi, Lisa. It definitely seems like something is not sitting right with that whole thing. Yolanta goes like, I'm gonna go check some weapons. Yeah. What do you like? Do you like a big? Do you have a sword? I like the sword. Keep the sword. Girls, though, you need something if your spells fail. What do you want? Do you want throwing axes? I'll bring you a mix. I'll bring you a bunch of different
Something
things. You can try them
very
out. I got it.
heavy. Something heavy. She's very strong. She doesn't look it, but
No, she does
perhaps
not.
a heavy spiked mace.
But that you will get stronger.
That's
Yeah.
her style.
Yeah. That will be good. We're gonna take them down. I love it. I love it. There's bullies. They're so good. We are done with this. Yes.
Possibly if you have very nice dagger. She might like very nice dagger. Just say.
I just bring a lot of stuff. We'll just try it all. It'll be
Yes.
great.
Mm.
Right.
And she goes sprinting off, leaving you with Lisa, who is sort of like, okay, I'm gonna find something to do. But
Before she goes, can Artemisia try like a persuasion?
yeah, that would be perfect.
Okay. So let's see. 26.
Okay, what are you gonna say to her?
So Sister Ophelia has made us an offer. Do you think there might be anything that maybe she left out that if we were to help, we might need to know?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Look, this is the thing about Sister Ophelia. Is she's gonna tell you what she wants you to hear, and sometimes you find out later she's left some things out. But I will tell you this: I was there for that day in Prisoner Swamp. She did not tell you something very important, or I mean, look. The Wicklaren, they really wanted Cecilia back. We all knew it. And that most of us felt it was a nice finger in their eye not to give her to them. But Ophelia finds out that the Thayans, they have some of ours, and we don't have theirs. We just kill those guys. But the Wicklaren, they have some Thayans. They are trying to get information out of, So she says, we do this three-way swap. She says, oh, we are bringing them one of the Wicklaren prisoners, but then we don't have a prisoner. And we show up and she says, it's this one. She gives them Cecilia because she tells them the Wicklaren want this one. It turned into a big mess. They did try to kill Cecilia. She did run. She left her spellbook behind. I assumed she was dead, which is why when you am asking, I really want to know. She wasn't dead and she didn't come back and kill Sister Ophelia. I don't know what happened. But I'd be careful.
I agree.
And also, I did not tell you this, just to be clear. I didn't say anything. Just because I don't like Sister Ophelia doesn't mean that I don't think she's also a very capable leader a lot of the time.
Of course.
Do you think that the spell book do you still have it? Is it still here?
I don't have it. Maybe Sister Ophelia has it?
Because, for instance, if one of us who was kind of sneaky happened upon it, I mean, he could take it and we could give it back to Cecilia, and nobody told us where it was. So
that's a fair point.
Do you remember what it looked like? Was it distinctive in any way?
I don't think so. I got the impression this was just basic Brahmiani books. So whatever his spell book looks like, if you assume you got the same one as one when you were a kid.
That's unfair, but probably right assumption.
I didn't see anything about it that looked special. I gotta say too, I don't know. I mean, probably she will like it just because she doesn't like Sister Ophelia anymore. It's harder too when they were, like I said, Sister Ophelia, she's kind of a mentor. She takes people in. So it makes it a little worse.
Yeah, I bet.
But I don't think there's anything like you're talking about in that spell book. If there is, she didn't do it. Because she would have done it at that time, I'm pretty sure. I would have done it if I could have.
Yeah.
Are you a friend of Cecilia? You speak as though you know her.
Not really. She's younger than me. She's so angry. She or Yolanta. Yolanta is not... She gets along better with Cecilia, but even then I think Cecilia is holding everybody at arm's length.
She does that.
It's like she knew Ophelia was gonna do that though, Like she was ready for it. Even though nobody knew. Even then, she was very surprised, but
It is not paranoia if they all are out to get you. Yes.
This is the byword of the Wicklaren, or the Durthans.
Is it well, what do you think is the agenda now? You're deciding if you trust us, and we seem to have hit a bit of an impasse in terms of information, although perhaps finding that spell book might be interesting. It might be, there are some notes of hers in there.
Oh no, friend Starch, it is so simple. We just go on the suicide mission for the Durthans, and then that convinced them to trust us. It is so simple. Why did I not think of it?
Well, these Durthan don't seem to actually be that bad. I think Stalling's gonna glance over at Helisa, and he's gonna say some of them seem to be quite nice.
No.
Listen, every group has assholes. That's just how the world works.
Cannot argue with that.
I would like to trade with you if there's a chance. compare spell books. There may be something in mine that you like and something in yours that I've been looking for. I don't know if that's something we'll have time for, but I'd like to
Yeah,
make
okay. Yeah, I get. I feel very weird about this. You
just
don't feel like I shouldn't be telling you all of these things.
You
Which
were
I'll show you.
Sturge, you were asking her on dates. It's very, very awkward.
Wait, is that what's happening?
No.
No,
I
it's
don't like
like
men. Thank you.
it's like magical dates. You asking for great intimacy, share secrets and
magical
knowledge.
Date.
I have a spell. I have a spell that even my friends don't know about that will probably make you laugh and make you so delighted that you met me so that you can copy it into your book and mess with the Wicklarin with it in a way they won't be able to counter.
Oh, good lord. This is a spell you give Yolanta. This is not my spell, but I'll be
Well, if I give
too
it
honest.
if I give it to you, you can give it to Yolanta.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. What are you giving her?
I can't say it out loud, but I'll whisper it to you on
We
this.
put it in the thing.
I'm gonna text it to you.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right.
It is hilarious. I've never used it. I've had it for like 3 levels.
And what level? You tell me what level it is too.
It's only 2nd level.
Okay.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
well,
Is there a
while
way
we're
to
swapping
Okay, never mind.
swapping
If you hit-
spells.
If you change the to everyone to me, it'll only come to me in the Zoom
Oh,
chat.
okay. Is there a way to share it with the viewers without? Actually, I want it to
No.
come out and play. I want it to come
All
out
right.
and play.
Oh.
Well, while they're swapping spells, Artemisia wants a little like group huddle so Sturge can join once he's done. Because she wants to take the other's temperature about this whole let's go against the Wicklarin and this whole mission thing. Sounds like a bad idea to her, but
Sounds fun.
Stong, you could see he's like thinking a bit. You know, Artemisia, I absolutely detest those who would strip away the freedoms of others. So if this person is being confined in a prison, I feel like I don't know. Am I a bad judge of character if I feel like the Durthans aren't so bad?
well, they're not so bad, but this isn't our fight. I mean,
It wasn't our fight when we rescued her. Rescued Helisa? Was it Helisa that
You
we
rescued
rescued?
Yolanta.
Yolanta.
Yolanta. We made it our
Yeah,
fight because it was the
but that
right
was
thing
a-
to do.
Yeah, it was the right thing to do, but what about our friends among the Vermiani? I mean, they stuck their necks out for us to help us get away. And then we're gonna show back up and attack the Wicklarin.
I don't
I
want to
mean-
attack them, that's for sure.
I mean, it could very easily turn into that, though.
Doesn't seem like we have much choice but to go along. Unless we want to stay here for a long time.
Song, make a perception check.
Perception 7.
Your neck is itchy.
Oh. Oh, guys. I mean, we do have some other things that we could do at the camp if we decide not to go on this raid. And maybe when there's less Durthan around, we'll have a better opportunity to sneak around.
Yeah,
You-
and
Go ahead.
because Artemisia is going to be like, so the way I see it is that we go on this mission, or we have to break out of this camp, and frankly, that is something I am much more willing to do than pit ourselves against the Wicklarin again. And meanwhile, as you say, we have other business, so perhaps we should resolve that first.
If you look around, you do notice, Dong, that Sister Ksenia is kind of standing at the edge of the camp, watching you.
Stong will glance over at her, glance over at Sturge, seeing, trying to figure out how much longer Sturge is taking.
Sturge?
Sorry, I was answering his question about the spell I offered.
All right. we can talk-
Yolanta, she beckoned like Yolanta over, and this is happening over. And Hylisa's like, "Don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me."
Sturge pulls his head out and says, "More of this later," and goes back to his friends. I think they're alone, right? There's no other durthan with them.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna say, "Well, a rescue mission sounds fun to me, but I'll do as you like. Perhaps I can just give them some tactical advice for a rescue mission." Why are you looking so awkward, Stong? What's wrong?
And he points, like directly, openly points at Ksenia. That's the sister. The one, that asked me about, that wants to meet. She's the agent.
We should go take care of that.
Let's. Why don't you ask her if she's able to take us there?
All right. Sebastian, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. Let's go.
Stong tries to casually walk, but he's like a terrible actor. So like it's like that type of casual walk that looks incredibly unnatural.
What are you
Hey
doing?
there.
Hello. You wish to see the battlefield ruins, I hear? You want some history lessons?
Yes, the battlefield ruins. Yeah,
Yes.
friends, we're gonna go see the battlefield ruins right now, right?
Stong is traveling bard. He find knowledge about many things. Tell a great tale about it. Sing songs about epic battles of history. Yes.
Good. Okay. So just so you know, we never met. She turns and she kind of walks out of the camp, sort of expecting you to follow.
Following.
Follow.
Definitely, she is not going to be in song. Yes.
She takes you into the forest, off the trail. The trees are getting thick. A mist sort of rises. Still, the sun has not hit this part enough to burn it out. The tree canopy is thick above. You don't think you see ghosts, but man, it's hard to tell the way that mist coils around the scrub and the trunks of the trees. And you come up to a big outcropping of rock, and she walks around it. And when you follow her around the corner of the rock, what's there is a portal. Standing beside the portal is a terrifying creature. It looks like a woman, but she has the feet of a goat, like cloven hooves. She's enormous, and she's holding a trident. And she looks down at Ksenia. And then she looks over at Stong. She says, "Good. She doesn't like to be kept waiting. You go in now."
Oh, good. We have made good choices.
All right. Stong's gonna like fix his hair a little bit, like flick off the dust on his chainmail. Yeah, give himself a little sniff. All right. Do you remember what we said, everyone? No deals.
No deals.
No deals.
Artemisia, like, her gloves are back on, but she's got like the hand with the ring. She's like clasping it really close.
And if anything goes south, we try to get out of there safely and quickly.
Just before they go in, Sturge is going to cast prestidigitation on himself and create a little tattoo on the back of his neck that says, "This space taken."
Not for
It'll
sale.
only last for a minute.
But just in case they check, they'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, hands up. All right. So you're going to go into the portal?
Step through.
All right. You step through the portal all together. You pass through a dense, dark, thick blackness. And when you step out the other side, you're alone. Your friends are not with you anymore.
Who is?
You are
Who
not
are you speaking to?
All of you.
Oh, no.
Each and every one of you is alone. And that's a wonderful time to take a break. So go sit for 10 minutes. And we will be right back with my favorite archfiend.
Nice.
See you soon. Welcome back. We're back with the Westgate Irregulars. I realized that earlier I forgot to tell people that we were doing we were doing 2 charity donations right now. One for the resource fund for the conflict in Ukraine, and one for the National Network of Abortion Providers. So you can find those by typing in !donate and !charity, 2 very worthy causes. We have do we have a giveaway today? Or we We do.
Giveaway today.
We do have a giveaway today.
The giveaway, yes. I'll just be the disembodied voice. The giveaway is a set of dice and a dice tray from Phoenix Dice based on whatever they've got in stock. So put in the code that you can see there on your screen and into chat, and you will be entered in for a chance at this drawing.
Okay. And I just want to tell everybody I've been excited about this for a while, and I'm glad that it actually worked out to happen. Okay. So Artemisia, you passed through that portal, through that strange, dense darkness, and what you step out into is a lush and well-tended garden. All around you, the buzz of bees fills the air. And every kind of flower you can imagine fills the air with cloying scent. And I wonder, Artemisia, what flowers draw your eye? Like, what's the flower Artemisia is most like drawn into?
Sorry,
You hear an eerie voice that tells you you're not somewhere safe.
So first she tends to focus on the big showy flowers like roses or something like that. But then I think her attention would go to flowers that tend to have more scent, even though she's not the wolf right now. So lavender or something like that, or even sort of the older types of sort of climbing roses have more scent than the big sort of modern ones, modern in Forgotten Realms terms, but overbred. So, and I think that having taken it in, she's going to start looking for the wild, the patch where the grass wasn't mown properly, and maybe there's somewhere where there's a bird's nest that's really sort of like messy, that she can find in hidden places.
You look, and those are things you expect to find in every garden. Even the most well-tended garden has spots that the gardener leaves or can't get to. But everywhere you look, everything is very in order.
Oh.
The more you move through it, the more there's a smell like kind of rot in this. Like the flowers are kind of going over. You come and kind of get these hedges sort of move you through out into an open space. And on the farther side of this area with its very exact grass, there's a little table in front of a frame of wisteria, and there's a young woman sitting at the table. At a glance, you think this is a tiefling. She's got kind of small horns. She's kind of petite. Her skin is coppery, and she's wearing a very simple but immaculately tailored white dress. But what your eyes first take for part of that frame, you realize are actually enormous wings that frame her. And she looks up at you. Her eyes are black as ink from lid to lid, which makes me really wish I had one of those eye-altering things. Because it would be badass. So just imagine. And when you make eye contact with her, in your heart, you feel this little seed of terror just sprout. But then she smiles at you, and she is so beautiful. And she stands up and kind of holds her hands out. She goes, Artemisia, how very nice to officially meet. Come join me.
Officially?
Well, it's not as if I haven't been paying attention. You're so close to something I care so much about. I have to pay attention. Sit. I have tea here. And she pours you some tea. She doesn't pour any for herself, though, you notice.
Artemisia's she'll sit, she'll take the tea, and then in this very sort of polished way, she will hold it as she speaks and be about to bring it to her lips when she thinks of another point that she's going to say. So she'll let it rest down again, and then she'll almost bring it to her lips again. So there's a lot of movement of the tea. She's very involved with it, but none of it is being drunk.
So, how are you enjoying your adventure away from Westgate? I presume the shop is still running itself.
I presume so. You watch people near Stong? Stong is important to you?
I mean, all of you are sort of important to me, especially now. Really, well, I don't want to say this is a job interview, but I just am so glad to meet you. We're really a lot alike, you see.
I don't need a connection to anybody else.
It's not a connection. I'm just saying. You come from nobility. I come from nobility. You feel the crushing weight of your stepmother's expectations. All those times she pushed you at appropriate boys, hoping to make a connection. Because what good are you except to be a pawn on her path to power? You're the thing that's going to lure that family into her sphere of influence, really. Do you think that changes when you change the plane? Because I'm going to tell you, it's just the time scale.
I guess you do understand.
Unfortunately. Artemisia, you poor thing. You've been through so much, and you give so much. And then what happens? People take from you. It's hard. When you're powerful like us, they see you as a tool, really.
Exactly. But
And-
it isn't that's not how you see me as well, I suppose.
Well, I do want your help with something, assuming everyone's up for it. But that's more like friends helping friends, I think. You'd like to be friends. She reaches out and she takes your hand, the one with the ring.
Mhm.
She goes, I know. It's been hard to decide who to be friends with. Let's be honest. Lilton Darden is trash.
But I don't think I can get rid of his hooks. That's why I can't
Mm.
have other friends.
Well, you shouldn't listen to that voice. You can absolutely get rid of his hooks. It's just, it's an obstacle. Well, I don't think you're weak, but perhaps he's a little bit of a weakness.
I suppose.
Let's be honest with ourselves. You know exactly how to get into your good graces. And he went ahead and he exploited that. What does he deserve except punishment?
I wish I could.
Mm,
I'm not powerful enough for that.
Well, I mean, what else is going to happen? He'll come back, inevitably. Your friends are there. He definitely wants to deal with them. Are they going to be patient with you?
Well, my friends will help, I think.
See, friends are good like that. Here, I'm going to give you a present. Don't tell the boys. She turns her hand over, and there's a gem in her palm. It's about the size of a cuckoo's egg. It's blue, and in the rutilations of the crystal, it makes almost like a star. Do you know what this is?
No.
We call this a soul sapphire. It can trap things if you will it. So what we like to use these for, you put a demon in here, and then you put someone you don't like in with the demon. This one's preloaded. You take it, she puts it in your hand, fold your hand around it. You just push it up against his skin, and you will him inside the soul sapphire. Simple as that. And then you don't have a problem with Lilton Darden anymore.
And he can't get out and
Not
get back
unless
at
you
me?
let him out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What does this cost?
Just a present between friends. Actually, I'll tell you what I'd like. When you've done what I asked, you bring it back to me. I'd love to have a chat with Lilton.
That's not a cost. I'll do that willingly.
See, I knew we could be friends. I like you, Artemisia. I think we're going to have a lot of fun together.
But I'm just doing this because it's something that I need anyway.
Of course.
And so it helps us both. I wouldn't do anything to hurt my friends or my family, even Marcelea.
Why would I ask you to do something that you don't want to do? That's really the way the demons work, just to be clear.
Oh.
Have you heard of my father? Do you know who my father is?
No.
My father is Asmodeus, the king of the hells. the god of happiness. And really, that's all he wants is your happiness. Why let things stand in your way? You just have to open the right doors and reorganize things a little bit. Keep everything running smoothly. So I would never ask you to do anything that didn't make you happy, Artemisia. That's not what I'm about.
Well, I suppose it's my job to make sure that what makes me happy doesn't also hurt others.
She's gonna hold both your hands, and you feel that soul sapphire squeezed between them, her hands on top of your hands. She's gonna say, sometimes we do have to do difficult calculus about what's our happiness worth. I think your happiness is worth more than Lilton. Don't you agree?
Oh, yes.
So sometimes your happiness is worth more than another person. And that's okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but
You don't have to know everything, Artemisia. You just have to know right now. You and I can be friends.
for this, and then we'll see. But this, I just, if I could be free of him, you know, maybe I could actually kind of breathe a little bit again without.
I know that one.
Okay, just this.
Just this. That's all I'm asking for. And once I've talked to everybody, we'll make that job offer. And Artemisia, this is where, for you, you're suddenly back with your friends. But each of you is experiencing this simultaneously. So at this point, Sturge, you, let me pull this up. You pass through that crushing darkness. You go through the door and suddenly you're on a road somewhere. It's the middle of the night. And this is a really old road. It's paved, you know, there's cobbles about yay big. But it's been here a long time and it hasn't been very well maintained. There's grass growing between all of it. There's dirt that covers the cobbles in places. There's definitely a patch over there where it's been washed away. Ahead of you is a crossroads, and overhead the sky is clear and full of stars. A sliver of moon slices through the curtain of night, but as bright as the stars are, you can see okay here. And you hear a voice beside you say, "It's beautiful, isn't it?" And when you turn, standing beside you is what seems to be a petite young tiefling woman. Coppery skin, small pointed horns, but unlike any tiefling you've ever seen, she has enormous bat-like wings that curve around her, making her like an idol in a niche. And her eyes are as black as the sky as she regards you. And she says, "Crab on Glear, we meet at last, and the honor is mine."
I am at a disadvantage. I don't know your name.
In a lot of ways, I think that's better. Too much notoriety, people get ideas. I am Glasya, the Lord of the Sixth.
Lord of the Sixth?
Yes.
Sixth what, if
The
I
sixth
might?
layer of the Nine Hells.
Oh my, that's quite a responsibility.
We all shoulder what we can in the Asmodeus' quest for eternal order.
Ah, is he the seventh?
The ninth.
He's the ninth. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good to have someone to look up to.
I think, well, hierarchy is important. Knowing there are strong leaders steering things. That's what makes everything function. Without it, it's all chaos and maniacs. We can't have that. But what's a hierarchy without leaders who are actually strong? leaders who have to bluster and snarl to keep their place. Weak people worship something that looks like strength, and then what you get is a bunch of bullies, and everything decays around it. It's not a good time.
We can agree on that. I take it this is your doing. I'm here because you wanted me here.
Yeah. I wanted us to meet in person before. I have a bit of a request, and I also think I might be able to help you. You're looking for something?
Yes, many things. Any one particular you're thinking of?
Well, I was thinking of the fact that you're trying to find a way to solve this little chronomancy problem that seems to be fracturing the prime material.
Yes, you're
People
aware
are
of the...
starting to notice.
People as in important people.
Those of us in the outer planes. We're not being fractured, but we keep looking back and everything's a little bit different than we left it.
And
Somebody's wielding too much power, frankly.
Yes, I think you might be right about that. I sense that myself. So you know about the Golden Raven, then?
I do.
And you know how she got her power?
I do.
That is what we are trying to find out, so we can find out how to prevent her getting it in the first place. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I would love to make a deal with you. The only thing is, don't want to be reckless. You have to make sure you're the right people for the job. I can't just pay you. There needs to be a balance. Or a balance implied. But I can tell you're a little nervous about doing any kind of business with me. I'm sure you've heard things.
Well, I've made deals before. They didn't turn out as perhaps others foresaw they might. I'm not uncomfortable with deals, but I did make a pinky promise with my friends not to make any deals when we went through that portal. So there is that.
You just think of this as a fact-finding. Getting to know each other.
All right. So what can you, thinking of for my own desires here, and it seems like it's a mutual interest, that we be successful in our quest to undo the Golden Raven before she ever even gets her start. How can you help us in that? It seems like that's something you want, something we want. It might be no deal is really necessary as long as we succeed.
Proban, or can I call you Sturge?
You can call me Sturge.
Sturge. That's not really how we do things up here.
All right, well,
but
let's talk.
Well, I am curious. This thing with the Golden Raven, it's all of you together. And that's one conversation. But you're looking for something else.
Yes.
You want to know what's going on up here. She taps you on the forehead.
I wouldn't mind knowing. On the other hand, sometimes I think it'd be better inventing my own explanations. I don't know if I want to know, if you know what I mean.
I do know, but I can tell you there's something in there. If I could take it out for you.
That would be lovely.
And you just have to let me keep it.
What? No. Wait a minute. You're saying you could undo the brain damage and keep the brain damage? Or are you saying undo the brain?
You have two problems up there. Something damaged you, and then someone took advantage of that and put something else in.
Yes. I have to tell you.
Yeah.
I think I knew who it was.
Oh.
But it's a secret. If I give it to you, then I won't find out who it was for sure. But I'll get my brain back. That's the deal? What interest do you have in whatever it is that's locked in my head?
I think if I tell you that, this deal shifts balance. but maybe I could give you something, a little taste.
Mm.
She reaches forward, and her hand basically goes into your head, right through your face. It doesn't hurt at first. It's sort of weird. Like, you don't even, it's just like, that's not supposed to be there. And then it feels like something in your brain moves, and there is this searing pain. And then when she pulls her hand away, for a second, you see something. You're standing at a crossroads, much like this one. You're looking at the other side, and you see a white stag run across. You feel someone grab your shoulder, and you hear a woman's voice say, "Hold still, my son. Hold very, very still." And it's nothing you remember before, but it feels right in your head. It feels like something. Sturge, do you know what that might be?
The white stag? I don't. I recognize it's a common symbol in literature for purity and strength, but that is as far as it goes for me. Why was I being told to hold still? Because the stag was there, or because something was about to happen to me and they needed me to stand still for it? Where was it? Was it in Aglarond? Was it in the seventh hell? Was it in, where was that scene?
Are you saying this out loud, or are you?
No, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to get clues from it.
So one other thing happens while you're trying to process this. Your head, you suddenly, it's like a fire poker. It's gone through your eye, right through the back of your head, and you have another memory. And this time, you're in Lork. You're in the town where you first met all of these people. And you're sitting at a table in a tavern. And Cecilia walks up to you. And she says, "Are you the one who stole my map?" And you hear yourself say, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about." And she says, "You did steal my map." And she leans forward and says, "I could use somebody with slippery hands like that. Do you want a job?" When the memory fades, that one doesn't feel like it's yours. That doesn't sound like what happened in Lork.
It's not what happened in Lork. All right, mystery woman. What am I to learn from this?
No, they're not my memories, Sturge.
I need to be strong. I need to face my memories, so I don't want you to take them from me.
If you change your mind,
On the other hand,
just let me know.
if you unlock the memories for me, I would be in your debt.
That's true.
Is that on the table?
A future favor of my
Yes.
choosing?
Yes, that sort of thing. Is that on the table?
That's always on the table.
Mm. And
Let me
what?
finish. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And what would there be to fear? You're only interested in order and people's happiness.
Of course.
So it's a win-win, right?
Everybody's wants could line up perfectly.
Why don't people call you angels? Why do they call you devils? I don't understand. Go on. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to suggest that you just think on it while I finish up talking to your friends. I think we might be ready to discuss in just a moment. And the crossroads fade. And for you, once again, you are standing beside your friends. But while that was happening, Sebastian, you step through the darkness. You come out in Running Rocks. You see the cave houses up the slope, the river that you grew up beside. Everything is very, very familiar. But it's empty. There's nobody here. Oh, you're muted.
I'm gonna start looking around.
So you look around, you look past, you mark, there's Igor's workshop. There's the stairs up to Brother Matfei's classroom. You
Feel
turn
the
back.
stones.
Yeah.
Feels real.
And you turn back. There's a woman standing there, and she was not there before. She looks like a tiefling. Little horns, copper skin. She's shorter than you. She has big bat wings. Is it hard being back here?
Why have you sent me back?
I just think you needed a little reminder. Home is so precious, isn't it?
If you are trying to unsettle me, it has not worked. That part of me is... I am beyond it. But I do understand.
That's
It is
good.
important to me.
You should be strong. I mean, you gave all of this up.
I did.
Everything you dedicated your life to, it turns out, is a lie. Do you have a plan here, Sebastian?
I think you know I don't.
I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm worried about you, really. What are you going to do? Go back to Westgate and make weapons for thieves? Vampires?
Why are you worried about me? I do not even know your name.
Well, it's my fault. I'm so sorry. I am Glasya, Lord of the Sixth, Princess of the Nine Hells.
Welcome, my lady. I
You're
bow slightly.
Thank you. You're an interesting one. You weren't part of this group when I first spoke to Stong, so to speak. Now here you are, following your new friends. They're really Cecilia's friends.
I
Aren't you worried?
suppose.
You're just gonna tail after this girl you never even knew if you were in love with. Now you're just gonna make her your anchor. Not gonna work.
You think so, do you?
I mean, I think everybody kind of thinks so.
Perhaps you are right. Perhaps...
I mean, if we're being honest with each other, Sebastian, we both know you're terrified.
Yes. Yes.
Did you do the right thing? Is there anything for you out here? Well, there must be. It's a big world. But how are you going to find it?
Yes. Do I even know what I'm looking for? I do not. It is true. You are correct, my lady.
It's so hard being rudderless like that. Having no order to your life. Having no sense of where you fit. Maybe you're fitting right now. But if it stops, if they stop bringing you... I noticed earlier when they didn't bring you into the tent to discuss.
I see what you are saying. You seek to play upon my jealousy, my sense of victimhood. Yes?
Well, those are your words, not mine.
I think perhaps you have miscalculated.
Oh?
Yes.
Not a lot of people say that to me, Sebastian.
I think that is very true. You are a very intimidating woman. You know, I think I immediately, when I meet powerful women, immediately wonder why they are not wearing masks. I think you are wearing mask. It is not obvious. But you see, my new friends, as you point out, they did something for me in addition to becoming my friends. They are my friends in addition to Cecilia's friend. Well, it is complicated. We make friendship soon over time. These things happen over many years and many experiences, fighting vampires, load-bearing statues, that sort of thing. But they do something for me. They take something that was harming me. And I have not told them. I am not brave enough to tell them. I think you already know this.
I think you might have caught me. You don't feel the same now, do you?
I do not. I do not feel like victim anymore. I do not feel abandoned or lost anymore. So I think there is something else. I think you come to me with something else, do you not?
Well, I like knowing that you're not stewing in your own sadness. That's not what I need right now. Sure, I think it's fairly easy to help people who feel lost find a direction. But really, this is about what you can do for me.
Ah, yes.
So, if you're not feeling powerless and in need of someone to help you with that, maybe I'll just be your backup friend for when this falls apart.
I see.
For when the next time, Sebastian, you're not brave enough and you can't do the scary thing and they leave you, I'll still be here.
Well, when that happens, I know what your mask looks like. I call upon you then, yes?
I think we understand each other.
I think we do.
Once more, you feel like you're pulled back to your friends. And Stog, you pass through the squeezing darkness and you come out in the arena at Westgate.
What am I doing here? I listen. Is there a crowd cheering the name of the Smashing Basher?
No, there's nobody in the crowd, but you hear a buzzing sound, like insects.
Do I recognize the sound?
Sounds like insects, big insects, but you don't see anything. You move out into the arena floor, across the sands, and this time when your gaze sweeps, you see a throne, a kind of floating throne, very elaborate. It's made of bone. There's a woman sitting on it, petite, tiefling, bat-like wings, like an icon in a niche. And on either side of her are wasps the size of dogs with vicious sword-like blades on their hands. They're not beedrills, but they kind of look like them.
Oh,
but
good. I have no
scary.
Pokemon balls.
And she says, Stong Makak. At last we meet in person.
Where are my friends?
Oh, I'm having conversations with them too. I just figured all of these things are better one-on-one.
These things?
Yeah, what we need from each other.
Well, you're the foolish one then, because we promised each other we wouldn't make any deals.
How much do you trust them to hold to that promise, Dog?
I trust my friends absolutely.
I love that about you. Your loyalty. Loyalty is really so much more valuable than people give it credit for. Why else is Asmodeus king of the Hells but for the loyalty of every one of his vassals beneath him?
What is it that you want from me? Why did you mark me that day as your champion? Is it to bring me here to fight for your fight for sport in this arena?
One moment. I marked you as my what now?
Champion.
A moment. She gestures to the side, and a portal ripples in the air. It opens with a smell like rotting flowers and rotting flesh. And she snaps her fingers and says, Roxana! A creature steps through. It looks like a very beautiful woman with bat-like wings, much like Glasya's. She looks at you. Sort of alien warmth spreads through you, like suddenly you are turned on, but your brain is not turned on.
Oh,
And she kind of smirks. And Glasya says, remind me, when I asked you to go to Westgate as my avatar, what did I tell you to do? Because I don't remember the word champion. The succubus kind of goes, well, you wanted to convince him and he's a fighter. And I just figured. And Glasya closes her fingers. The succubus stops talking. I didn't ask you to go off script. Her voice at this moment shifts and is something terrible as an avalanche. And Stong, she looks like a relatively petite tiefling woman, but the force of that voice is godlike.
Stong trips and staggers to one knee beneath that voice.
She reaches out her hand and she crushes the air. And she says one word, demoted. You see the succubus collapse in on itself, pieces of flesh falling away, and what breaks free next is a devil covered in spikes. There's a stretch of skin between its arms and legs. You do not feel turned on by this. I don't want to tell you your business, but it's not the same. Like,
Yeah, the feeling's just gone from him. He's trying his hardest to stand up.
Glasya points at the portal. She says, try again. The spine devil flies out. And she turns back to you, and her voice is calm again and peaceful. And she says, I think we have to start over.
What do you want from me? If not to be your champion, then?
No. Well, really, I want what you've always been giving me. You haven't guessed?
I mean, I might have an idea.
You're a wonderful co-parent, Stong MacGurk.
Damn it.
Shit.
But we really have to talk about this thing where you handed it over to the paladin.
You haven't done anything to Shiny, have you?
Well, define anything.
Nothing harmful? Nothing psychologically scarring? Nothing.
No to the first one.
Nothing.
The second one. Well,
You.
listen. Sir Corvetto. He's a wonderful defender. I know that he'll take care of dear little Mirabelle. He has her best interests in heart, but he's always going to steer her in a certain direction. You care about making sure Mirabelle experiences all of life. Adrian's a little narrow-minded, so I just opened his mind a little. His wife might be one of mine. But they seem very happy. That's her entire job. And unlike Roxana, she is not going off script.
You can't do this.
Do what?
You can't just take people and change them, twist them around at your whim. You
Who have
can't
I
just...
changed?
I mean, he hardly knew that woman.
And she happened to be everything he wanted.
What was it that he said that he wanted from her? Like, what? I mean, does she wear armor all the time, too?
Some things are between a paladin and his succubus wife.
The shiny I know would never succumb to a succubus.
Well,
You did something to him. Something that he would not have wanted.
I think maybe you and Shiny need to have a conversation, which I'm not opposed to, especially because then Mirabelle will come back to you. But right now, I will admit, it's probably best she's with him, since you're solving this whole Golden Raven problem.
What do you know about the
What
Golden
don't
Raven?
I know? Well, all right. I won't get cocky here. Out here, we are paying attention to your plane, but maybe not as alertly. Not everybody's realized that she's splitting timelines. I've noticed. Maybe some others have. We don't talk about this sort of thing, you understand. You don't want to tell everybody everything, you know? That's a good way to get overthrown, as my predecessors would tell you. Now, an alternate version of your friend is wreaking havoc, and you're trying to stop her. Ideally, you're trying to find the point at which this version of Cecilia split from your version of Cecilia. What made the difference? And I can tell you that.
What do you want in return?
I want you to do a job for me.
What is this job?
Well, that I'm gonna tell all of you together now that I've made sure that I can trust all of you to stick it through. And now, when you come back, I'm gonna come bring us back, and I'm just gonna be in the spooky forest. And you're all together. And Glasya is sitting before you in that same throne with those same hell wasps on either side of her. Their tension is kind of swinging around.
We all took a deal, didn't we?
Sturge
Every single
totally
one of us.
insight checks everybody around him. Did they take a deal?
I mean, Stalin's just going to say that. We all took a deal, didn't we?
I'm still pending.
Not exactly.
Not as such, per se.
Okay, that's 3 yeses all around that I'm hearing. Okay.
Basically, there's 2 things I can offer you. One is I have a job I need done. If you take care of this for me, I will show you the moment that the Golden Raven and Cecilia split. And then you'll know. I will also tell you where you can find the spell that she's been using. And in exchange, you will complete this task for me. If you don't want to do it, I can make another offer. I know someone else who probably can tell you, and I will do that for a future favor, we'll say.
The task is not defeating, the task you refer to is not defeating the Golden Raven, it's something else?
It's not defeating the Golden Raven. And see, here's the thing. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about this splitting timeline. I don't love a mortal having that level of power, but maybe if she was my mortal, I'd feel differently. And it's possible that what this means is there's extra souls to go around. I haven't really done the math, it hasn't been time. And there's also a possibility that the way this shakes out, someone else makes a dumb move, and I get to go, oh goodness, Papa, and point the finger. And I do love doing that. But for now, I know you want it fixed. So, I can offer you that.
Mhm. And the things you offered each of us individually.
Those are just between us.
Ah.
Well,
Well,
we future favors can be very different than you expect when you finally get to them. Is
That's true.
what I think.
Would it help if I told you what I wanted in
yes.
that case?
Yes.
I
No
like
surprises.
you all. I like all of you so much. Stong, you've really gathered a great group of friends. You're all very good influences, I think. The task I need is sort of a test run. I have this key to another plane. And I'd like you to go into the abyss and deposit something. Just to make sure it works. Now, guarantee going into the abyss, that's not safe. So you'll need to be prepared to fight a lot of demons. But I'll tell you exactly where the split happened and where the spell is. Now, if you don't want to do that, I'd still like us to be friends, so I make you a separate offer. I'll tell you who can help you figure out where the split happened. I'm not sure she knows where the mask is missing, but the Heart of the Piercing definitely knows more than she's told you. And if I tell you how to find the Heart of the Piercing, she's going to have to give you some answers. And in that case, what I would like, when you defeat the Golden Raven, you give me the Emerald Hourglass. All the cards on the table.
Emerald Hourglass. The Raven has this.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah,
Source
Skaha
of her
mentioned it
power, is
before.
it not?
It's a very interesting relic. You don't see things like that very often.
That sounds better than fighting a bunch of demons.
Yes. Yes.
Does not sound better to me.
I mean,
Do you need some time to think?
I like fighting demons. I am excited to be a part of this. Let's do it.
The spear. No, the what was her name? The Heart of the Piercing. She was Cecilia's patron.
Correct.
Would she take our intrusion? I mean, she doesn't, we're not exactly, our best friend was not exactly on good terms with her, obviously. So how would she receive us?
Well, that depends on how you approach her. Archfey are a little fickle, but there's usually a way into their good graces. I mean, Cecilia managed it.
I will guess not bloody well, is what I would guess.
Well, if she knows anything of this other timeline, she knows that she, in that other timeline, was consumed by the Raven. So she would probably be very keen on us, on helping us. That would be our in, I suspect.
My lady,
Yes.
I bow respectfully.
Oh,
You set all cards on the table, yes?
Mm-hmm.
If I understand this idiom properly, then my next question will not be an offense of any kind.
Go ahead.
When you say key to the abyss, what is this key? What is it you wish us to deposit?
Well, they're different. There's a
Yes.
key, something that I'm fairly sure will open the abyss. And there's something to deposit.
I wish to know both.
The thing to deposit is an artifact, which should never be found in the kingdom of Azagrat. But wouldn't it be interesting if it was?
I see.
And the key is something that I've been working on. But I need you to agree before I show you what it is.
Might we have a moment?
Stong is just filled with dread. The implications.
Could we bring Shiny into the abyss with us?
Pending scheduling checks, that's probably fine.
Hmm. All right.
He's like, hey, there's that fourth wall. Just bend it a little bit.
Even the
All right.
hells can't move work schedules.
Yeah.
We like them, in fact.
All right, friends.
Designed there.
Although I find it intriguing to see what the abyss looks like, I think our safest bet is definitely the heart of the piercing. I think we have something, information, and, well, I think we have something she wants, which is us to be successful. What?
My lady, bow respectfully. A moment, if you would
Of
allow.
course. Of course.
I assume we've
Take all the
stepped
time you need.
aside, and she's gonna hear us anyway. We're in her little bubble.
That is the safest route in short term, but not in long term, Sturge. You must think long term. Think end of your nose. Long.
Oh, right, okay.
If our agreement is to give source of Golden Raven's power to Archdevil, what do you think she's going to do with it?
I don't think it is her source of power. The source of power is
Yes,
all
but
these.
why does she want it then?
It's a cool artifact. I want it too, but I'm not. It's not going to give me the power of all these beings that
You
she.
really are brain damaged, aren't you?
No.
I thought it was just a put on for so long. But here you want to give this Archdevil this great power.
It's
It's
look.
because you are afraid of a few little demons.
But in the other case, we're also doing something that she wants that will result in her gaining more power, no doubt.
Or hurting the abyss. It sounds like she's like putting a stink bomb in the abyss, which I think would be fun.
Let's be clear, there are no good choices here, but I think one is probably better than the other.
Well, all right. So yes, in that case, if you don't want her to get this toy, then we go to the abyss and we plant a stink bomb for her, and then we leave. And she's no more or less powerful than she was, but she has stuck a finger in the eye of the abyss, and we can get behind that.
And
Assuming we are not killed by the demons.
Yes, that's correct.
well,
But we can always
demons-
banish
demons-
ourselves, right?
demons are simply demons. Hearts of the Piercing is
Dude.
Archfey.
Did mess up that Merilith and Glabrace pretty handily.
That's right. Stong certainly wants to see Merilith again. Continue quest to impress her. Yes?
That's right. And I have some, I'll be sure to bring the butter and lemons and the crab forks.
Okay, Rhiannon is dying to meet the Heart of the Piercing, but
Maybe it'll figure out a way that also happens if this is what you guys are going for.
Oh yeah, if you make a deal with her, that might be part of it.
Wait.
I only wish to lodge my opinion.
Hmm.
I will go with what you choose.
I think Stong's been like distracted this whole time. He's been really introspective. He's still dwelling upon what Glasya said about Mirabelle and Shiny. So if Glasya's still there, right? Somewhere.
Mm-hmm. She's basically like sitting there watching
No,
you
no, it's
with
okay.
like a small smile.
I think he's going to like break away from the group a little, and then he's going to march up to her, and he's going to say, "What if we did both these things for you?
Interesting.
Will you let Shiny and Mirabelle go?"
Oh. What an interesting offer.
Do we hear this?
Yeah, he's not like whispering it or anything.
Mirabelle, what's wrong with Mirabelle? What's happened to Mirabelle?
Mirabelle's perfect. Shiny, I would give you. if you do these two things. Take back the succubus, clean him up, hand him back good as new. Mirabelle, well, you and I both believe strongly in a child's right to choose. If Mirabelle grows up and wants to be a princess of the Nine Hells, are you going to stop her?
Which 9 hell would she get? Which of the
Gods
9?
above and spirits below.
Well, that's really up to Asmodeus at the end of the day. But I'll make you this deal. You do these things for me, and I won't interfere. I will protect her if needed, but I will let you make that decision when she needs my protection. And, as I said, I will not deny her, but I'll let her make the decision. I think that will work out just fine for me.
Oh no. Maybe my opinion is wrong. Maybe this will be worse if we do the abyss. I do not know. My lady, a moment again.
Of course. Take all the time you need. Time does run differently in here, so you're not really going to be missed.
Oh, that's so reassuring. Everyone, I have something I have to tell you.
Oh, great.
Is this secret
Another
shit
one.
Your deal.
another bomb?
Don't
another bomb?
tell
Oh,
me.
no. I wish to, since we are about to die in one horrible way or another, I need to tell you this. You have done me a great service, and I wish to acknowledge it. I had not told you before, for I was caught up in thought, but when you removed that piece of Lazar from me, so too did you remove certain preoccupations that I had, certain impulses to feel oppressed or marginalized or victimized. These are feelings I think that Lazar had, that he put upon me, and now I feel liberated, and you have done this for me. And so, in thanks for you doing this for me, I shall go wherever you choose to go. If you wish me to leave, I shall leave. But if you would take me with you, I will go with you. To whatever full plan we decide to go to.
This is why I didn't want to drag you into this, Sebastian.
It is too late, my friend.
But thank you for being here and offering to continue to stay by us.
You are welcome.
Artemisia, Sturge, she has shiny. And I have no idea what the depths of her involvement is with Mirabelle, but it might be deeper than my own. This might be my only shot to get both of them free from her.
Well, making sure Mirabelle has a choice, I think, is the best that you can hope for, Stong.
But what good, honestly, what good is the promise that you will have a choice? That doesn't mean there won't be intense lobbying for her to make the other choice, unless you stipulate very carefully. And
Yeah, just to be clear, Glasya did say she would not be in Mirabelle's business.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Well, I have seen the power that you all have for inspiring and helping others do right. So I have faith in you. If this is your way to recover Mirabelle, I believe that this is what we should do.
Here's what I think. Lilton left hooks in me that he could come back at any time, and knowing that they're there changes you. And so in all of this, I think that we cannot look to the future and say, what will they do? What bad evil will they do? They would do it with or without us. What we have to do is look at closing what we must do without hooks at the end. And so if doing both these tasks will remove hooks from Shiny and from Mirabelle, and I think that's the best we can do. We can't game it out. We can't say, and we give her the hourglass and she does this or she does that, and we can't know. So we can only look to what hooks are in us, and if we can rid ourselves of them and be done. And so I say that if we can help Shiny and Mirabelle be freer, then that is what we should do, and we should stop trying to see the future.
Thank you, Artemisia.
This is sensible.
Sturge.
All right, so you're saying do both and get this promise.
Devils.
And then we
Waffle.
each make our individual promise deals, or can we lump those all in with this? That would be nice.
I don't know what you promised her.
I haven't yet. I'm still thinking about it, but of course, removing my brain damage and liberating all the parts of my brain that are locked is not insignificant to me. In exchange for a favor to be named. I prefer a favor named. That's what I'm going to negotiate for. I don't want surprises.
Our business is done. Our personal business between me and her.
Oh, you made a deal.
Good. Oh, wait, not good, but it's good that you worked it
All
out
right,
because
I see.
I'm just a simple half-orc bard. I'm not a lawyer orc. All this, like, complicated contracts and deals, it's above my pay grade. So, all I understand is that the people that I love are in danger. And this might be my only opportunity to get them safety. So, Sturge, will you come along?
With what?
Do both of Glasya's
Yes.
tasks.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Thank you.
See the abyss, meet an archfey, learn some things about myself and my friends, travel.
We'll get to save Cecilia. We'll get to save Shiny. We'll get to save
Yeah,
Mirabelle.
but yes, and that.
All right, Glasya.
Have you decided?
I think you overheard everything.
I'll allow you the illusion that you weren't overheard if you like it.
No.
These
So we
things have
so
rules. You have to say what you want, right?
yes, you will take my artifact into the abyss, deposited in the chambers of Lord Vaskrat. It doesn't need to be in his bedchamber, but that is preferable.
Of course.
Test my key and return. When you return, I will show you the point of divergence, and then I will send you to the Archfey, who will hopefully be able to help you find out exactly how she fell the last time.
Yes.
I'll also tell you for sure where that spell is. I will send you into the Endless Ways to commune with the Heart of the Piercing.
Mm.
And then, once you defeat the Golden Raven, you'll fetch the Emerald Hourglass for me. In return, Adrian Corvetto, also known as Shiny, and Mirabelle will be free of my influence, with the exception that Mirabelle is the child of my blood, and I will not deny her should she come to me.
Mm.
Does this sound fair?
I did think that if we did, I didn't think the hourglass was still on the table. I thought that was off the table if we did the abyss one, and then it was like a
We're gonna do both.
bonus.
Well, but you negotiated for Shiny and for me to not meddle with my own daughter.
Wait,
That
your
comes
own
with a
daughter.
steeper price.
Your own
Oh,
daughter?
stop.
I'm
Gods
sorry.
above and spirits below. Yes, Sturd. Yes.
No one has said that up until now. She is your daughter. Flesh of your flesh.
More or less.
There is no
Well,
more or less.
Sturge.
Yes,
She's
but
my daughter.
I don't need to get into, first of all, the exact reproductive techniques of fiends, because I don't think you have the stomach for it, Sturge. And like Stong says, he's really her father, and he's doing a wonderful job.
She may be her blood, but I'm her family. We're all her family, right?
Well, I only sort of know her, but I appreciate being included.
Distant Uncle Sebastian, still part of it.
Hey.
The kooky uncle. All right.
Did you want to tell us exactly how you parted with your daughter? How did she end up on the material plane?
I'm not
Well,
sure.
I
Who
think you
thrust her-
recall she wasn't in the material plane. When you rescued her, someone had taken her into the abyss, where you might guess it's sort of hard for me to go.
Get it
Stong,
now, I get it.
Stong sort of like lifts his palms, and you could still see like the burn marks on his hands.
Yeah, I remember that very well. It's all coming together for me.
Glasya steps down from her throne and takes your hand in hers.
Oh,
She
God.
says, I would heal it, but it would hurt so much worse. And then you wouldn't have this to remember how she came into your life. And I think that's really better.
I do not view this as a wound. This is a memory that I will cherish forever.
And then Stong takes his hand back, but like a little bit timidly, like just yanks it back. She lets go, right?
She does.
Okay, good.
And she's definitely looking at you a little intensely. She says, you really are the best father I could hope for Maribel. And I think you look around. It's not always easy to come by a good, caring father.
This is
I
one
know
of those.
you've seen.
Insight check. Is she talking about her own dad? 24!
Oh, nice!
So you insight checked an archfiend. Maybe. She does have a godlike ability to lie, but you kind of think yes. And you also think she's saying this very carefully, so you hear that.
Okay.
In fact, with that 24, 28, these excellent insight rolls,
28, good lord.
you get the impression, talking to Glasya, that when she talks about Asmodeus, she is making it very clear that she is a very willing and devoted vassal of the King of the Hells. But she's not happy with everything in their past. And really, if the opportunity presented itself, she'd overthrow him in a heartbeat. And not only do you hear that in her voice, like in the way she's phrasing things, but you get the feeling she's doing it that way on purpose, so you know it. But she has not said those words out loud.
Right.
So that's what she'll use the hourglass for, and it'll be great. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Won't hear it anymore on the material plane.
Oh my god. Not like Asmodeus is cool anyways. But yeah, Stone definitely like knew that that was one of those compliments that wasn't really a compliment.
What a fascinating woman. Well, I believe you and I
are
still...
agreed?
I am agreed.
Agreed.
Sturge, do make me an Arcana check really quick.
Ooh. I think I'm going to go ahead and use a 17 for my premonitions,
Okay.
which will give me a 24.
So you are fully aware that Glasya, as reasonable as she sounds, is an archdevil, and if Sister Ophelia is dangerous in what she doesn't say, Glasya probably is a little bit too. She's being very clear about the things you need her to be clear about. Now, in your deal with her, she won't tell you what's in your head. She's just going to take it. And maybe you can get her around to it. But
Wait.
you are going to encounter an archfey of godlike power based on this deal. It is possible that Heart of the Piercing can help you. and that might involve less evil. Maybe.
Well, and didn't a Wickleren elder also?
She said that she knew she said there's a cuckoo's egg in the nest. There's something in you that isn't yours. There's something of yours that isn't in you. And she said she can't fix it, but she sees you on the path to fixing it. But it may be very painful in some fashion, emotionally or physically.
Okay.
Or financially.
Or financially.
I thought that one of the options with Glasya was I get to keep my memory. She fixes my brain, and I owe her a favor.
She did offer you that, but she wanted an unspecified favor.
Right. Yeah, shit.
She did say you don't have to make this deal right now.
Okay.
That she's willing to entertain it later once you want it.
Okay, so I can talk to the Heart of the Piercing first, and if that falls through, then...
Yeah, you totally could.
Yeah, okay.
And hopefully she won't make it fall through.
For instance, what if I specify to her, I'll say, what if my unspecified favor is limited to actions against the abyss, or actions against demon followers in the material plane?
Well, that does sort of bind my hands a bit.
A bit. But
Maybe I'll think about it.
All right, think about it. Let's both think. It was a pleasure meeting you. I met
Likewise.
so few princesses, and you have been everything I expected of a princess.
To be perfectly clear, I'm a lord now.
No.
An archduchess outranks a mere princess.
Oh, well, I don't think I've met any duchesses either.
Archduchess.
Archduchesses. I have not met any at all, and you exceed my expectations for such a being.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, if we're all agreed, shall I get your key?
Yes.
Can't wait to see this party favor you're going to hide in Lord Whatchamacallit's room.
We'll get that too. And she turns to the hell wasp and she makes kind of a clicking noise and it flies off. It does come back with a case, but while it's doing that, she steps down. She stepped off the throne to take Stong's hand. So she says to you, see, the thing that's difficult is to enter the abyss. Normally you have to go to where the 9 hells touch it. You can't just rip a hole between the planes because we're not neighbors exactly. You go through the first layer, that connects and points, but then everybody knows what you're doing and you have to work your way back down. Demons can sometimes make portals out of the abyss to the material plane, but a demon's not going to do you a favor. So that's where I came up with this little solution. See, it's interesting. You don't think that devil blood and demon blood mix, but you can actually do that. She kind of works complex magic and splits the air. Another portal opens and she says, come on. And then before you step in, she stops. She says, like I said, I'm still a little conflicted about what your friend is doing because she did afford me this opportunity. You step through the slit in reality and enter a room, a little sitting room, which very ordinary. Like if this was part of Briar House, it wouldn't surprise you, although Artemisia, it's all a little dated. And there is one person in this room. Is a tiefling girl, a teenage tiefling girl, who looks up when she sees you. She goes, oh. And then she relaxes and she's like, oh, Stong.
No.
Because this is Mirabelle from Darkest Westgate.
Stong turns to Glasya. No.
You already agreed. And that's where we're going to end. We'll pick up back here. I've been your DM. and moderate psychological torturer. Aaron M. Evans. You can find me on Twitter at Aaron M. Evans. You can join me on Mondays on this channel for Concentration Check, a co-writing show at 1:30. Also, Yang Yang is on that too. You can get some work done with us. You can listen to my podcast, Writing About Dragons and Shit, wherever you download podcasts. So you have a new episode out today, which is viewer questions and tangents. And you can watch me on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/CNE Games for Champions of Lore, where I talk about the lore behind the game of our sponsor, Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms. Check them out at idlechampions.com.
Hey, real quick, thank you so much, Original Langston, for the 5 gift subs. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. We love those. And now you get those cool Concentration Check albums.
I've been Rhiannon Held. And my latest stuff, the latest book in my space opera series is called Pure Motives. And you might like to join our Discord because there's going to be sometime this week, probably, a new tie-in vignette going up that's going to be available. It is not PG-13, which is why that won't otherwise appear on the stream. But you can join our Discord and get that if it's of any interest to you. And also check out our website, dungeonscrawlers.com. It's got all kinds of cool links and stuff about our various books and projects. And thank you to our moderators, Myrdug, Seldarine, Shay, and Rumpus Imperator.
Hi, I'm Yang Yang Wang. So, as Aaron said previously, we've got 2 charities that we are highlighting this week. The first is the International Rescue Committee, who is providing relief for Ukrainian refugees because there is still an unjust war going on. So if you want to support the IRC and their work, they provide these refugees with food, shelter, medical care, etc. Type in !charity into the chat. If you want to support choice and life and abortion rights, then you could type in !donate into charity. Thank you very much.
I'm Stephen Merlino. I am just about ready to pick a winner for the giveaway. So I'm going to let it go on to the next person while I prepare it.
I am Eric Scott to be. Tune in next week for a visitation with the girls and Himbo Sarjan as they deal with their own extremely dark situations and have no idea about this terrible deal that their other half is
gonna get that sending stone out.
And they recently met a dark, incredibly powerful entity and defied it. So I don't know where the scales balance here.
I don't know if that was a good choice.
I don't know.
We're not dead.
Close. You came close to making a deal, but that deal might not have had terms that you found remotely acceptable. Anyway, you can find my writing online. Eric Scott DeB is my Twitter handle and Facebook, and I will be DMing the game next week. So come back then, and thank you for coming with us on this journey. Steven,
all right,
who
here
are
we
our
go.
winners?
Drawing a winner. Umbra 000.
Hey,
Now that's
congratulations.
Umbra, send us a Twitch message here with your email on it, and I will get it to Michelle at Phoenix Dice, and it will get to you soon. She'll reach out to you. Good job, Umbra. And with that, I guess that's the end of things. So see you.
Oh, I'm gonna do
the thing. Do the new thing.
Okay, do the thing.
See you next time. May your word counts be high and your rolls even higher.
Woohoo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.